the money that I collected is honorable that brought
Destiny of Nigeria.
contribution to Nigerian people.
Me, I want make all of now look into
But there comes a time when you want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
And the new Nigeria is
Education is telling them it's time to change.
Yes, it's another lovely day, and like I would always say, it's a good day to be alive. It's time for the Never Dull Moment program on radio. That's talking about Ground Zero, the program where we pick up topical issues in the polity and with analysts in the house and, of course, guests will try to make you understand some of these issues. And if you've been following us keenly in the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about taxes or doing our series on tax education. And it is a presentation that's actually coming to you from the Tax Justice Network, as hosted by Hope for Communities and Children Initiative. And of course, the program is supported by Christian Aid. And on the program today, we'll continue from where we left it off on Tuesday. If you recall, we said we are going to give you more details in respect of self-assessment when it comes to knowing what taxes you pay. But most importantly, too, on the program today, we'll be looking at the role of the civil society organizations in promoting tax education in Kaduna State. And my guest on the program today, we have our tax expert already seated in the house, Obafunso Rahmon, the one that one of my very good friend, a keen listener, said that man wasted dead body go pay tax. So he's in the studio, he will educate us. Also, I have Yusuf Goje, he's the head leadership governance and advocacy CALPED. And of course, we have Yawan Benjamin Gauje. He's young, smiling all of the time. I don't know whether he ever gets angry. Gauje, you're all welcome to the program. My name is Ehis, and to be part of the program, you can go to the social media handles of Ground Zero or Procyon Radio and Television on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can visit us at Procyon RTV. The post in respect of today's program is already there. All you need to do is add your voice, your reaction, your comment under that particular post so that we'll know that it is meant for this particular program, because I discovered that at times people would go comment on 3 or 4 weeks old programs because they are still there. But of course, it's not a wasted effort, because like I always tell you, even after the radio and TV program, the conversation still goes on. So go to Procyon RTV and add your voice to the conversation. And for those that want to listen and watch, you can go to www.procyonnews.com. And of course, we are appreciating Invicta FM because it's a collaborative effort that is bringing this program to you. While we are online, 247, Invicta is terrestrial. For those that want to listen to Ground Zero, you can always tune into Invicta on 98.9 FM, and you'll be able to listen to the program. So we'll go straight to talk about where we left it off last week, and that's talking about, before anything, how we do a self-assessment of ourselves in respect of knowing the type of taxes that we pay and how to go about paying it. I'll go straight to Obafunso Rahmon.
Thank you very much. Good evening, dear listeners. Once again, I'm happy to be here to discuss with you, educate ourselves on issues concerning taxes in Nigeria, or in Kaduna in particular. Now, we'll try to look at what tax assessment is and then roll down to what self-assessment is. Tax assessment simply is an arithmetic exercise, calculation of an amount that a taxpayer will be liable to pay, either in his own name or in any other person's name that has direction or control over his property or whatever. So it then means that a person can be assessed as a taxpayer in his own name or in the name of his receiver or representative or any other persons that has any particular control or direction over his affairs. So knowing that as it may, it then means that tax assessments involve rendering what we call returns and then paying the right tax that is accruable from that returns and filing it on the due date. And then Section 40 of Personal Income Tax Act talks about this talks about the tax assessment. And it mentioned that there are two types of assessment. Okay. Generally speaking, we have the self-assessment and government assessment. Now, when we talk about self-assessment, this is a window that has given opportunity to taxpayer to be able to do what? File their tax assessment returns within 90 days in the year, that is March ending. So if by filing that, it means you are filing your tax returns, that tax computation, you are declaring your profit. That's we are talking about it from the angle of business people, that is those who are in business, not companies.
Okay.
Business, because I'm locating on Kaduna State now as a state jurisdiction. Now, you render your financial statement, that is your statement of financial performance, what is the profit you earn in your business in the past year, and you will need to file this within 3 months of the succeeding year. Failure which that opportunity eludes you, government will now step in to assess you for failing to take up that duty. If you do self-assessment, there are benefits. Certain things like you can apply for what is called installment payment, maximum of 6 months, and you can even get what? A 1% rebate at the end of the 6th installment if you adequately and diligently follow the payment of that installment as calculated by you, because you hand yourself over. And that's, so we said you can do it, and they help you to manage your cash flow. And it also helps government to do what we call planning, because they know what is receivable and they can do budgeting. So it's a win-win situation for the taxpayer and government. Now, when we talk about that, if somebody will now fail to do that, government has a way of doing what we call original assessment. That is the first assessment that government will hands on the taxpayer, trying to assess him because of he failed. They will do that assessment based on certain criteria, and then the taxpayer is to pay that assessment. However, when an assessment is done originally by the government, then the taxpayer has the right to dispute it and discuss with the tax authority for it to be revised. Now, if the tax authority now look at it and said, okay, it is good, they can do a revision of that assessment, then they will issue a revised assessment to you, and based on the agreement and what they have seen that they have done wrong. And that will mean that you have paid something to government, but maybe you have paid a little low, then government can do a revised assessment, making you to pay more. That is balancing the difference between what you pay and what is supposed to be paid. That is revised assessment. Then another one is the to reduce the assessment. Now, it's another form of disputation, because when you are asking government to revise, you can also say they should reduce it. Now, if they reduce that assessment, that means they have, in their own judgment, in the judgment of government, over-assess you. And they found, after discussion with you, that yes, it is true that you have been over-assessed. Then government can do a reduced assessment, which quash the original assessment that has been given to you. Now, if that is done, these are the kind of assessment that comes under government. We call them type of assessments. But there are also two forms of assessment. These are done, they are called best of judgment assessments. Yeah. Best of judgment assessment is done by government on the taxpayer when the taxpayer fails to pay. Is what? Over a period of time. Then they will look at the lifestyle of the taxpayer and do some computation about him based on a reasonable assessment of what he's supposed to, pay and then it's hands-on to go and pay. Now, he can also dispute that and disagree with the tax authority. If he disagree, then he needs to send an appeal, to the tax authority. The tax authority looks at it again, and then if he's still in disagreement, he can further raise an appeal to the tax appeal tribunal. Now, the last one is the adjustment that is called back duty. Back duty assessment is also done by government if somebody is caught up during his assessment that he has committed fraud. The taxpayer committed fraud, that is, or have been negligent. He neglects to pay his tax, or he willfully defaulted in paying his tax. That one is a criminal thing. Then it opens back here for the tax authority to look at what are your liabilities in the past years up to 6 years backward from the current year, and look at it and assess you to tax. Now, reason why we are here today is just to look at self-assessment. How do you self-assess yourself? I've mentioned it, that one is within 3 months window. Now, in Kaduna State, it has been what? It has been digitized such that you don't need to go to the tax office before you can do self-assessment. All you need to do when we talk about filing your returns, it means you can do it online. All you need to do is to go to the website of CAD-IRS, that is Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service. Okay. And the website is just CAD-IRS. You can put it on Google, CAD-IRS.KDGS, that is Kaduna State Government, you start with my tax dot CAD-IRS dot that's it, KDSG.gov.ng, and that launches you to the website of that Internal Revenue Service. Doing that, you are encountered with what we call filing. When you click on filing, it will open another page for you, asking you of the type of assessment and the period of the assessment you intend to bring yourself to tax. And then you will now pick an option. Is it direct assessment or any other type of assessment that is there? So if it's direct assessment that we are talking about, which is self-assessment, you pick direct assessment. And then you go to the second query button and then type the assessment here, or you pick the assessment here, there. Then you submit. When you submit that, it takes you to another level for you to do what? To file in or upload your returns. And the returns must have been done in terms of maybe your self-assessment form yourself, your result of operation, that is your financial statement if you have prepared it. And then sometimes you can even upload your bank statement. Okay. So all these are evidences that will convince the tax authority that what you declare was right, because they hold you in trust and you are doing the right thing. So you have to show that you are truly truthful. So once you uploaded that, then you also do what? You submit. The next thing to come is that it's going to tell you the mode of payment once you click submit. Now look at it. Now, that does not mean that if you go and pay, because all these stages require approval from the tax authority. Yeah. If they found that you have assessed yourself lower than what is expected from that kind of trade you are in, then they can ask you for additional assessment. That is a revised assessment. So you now pay the difference between what you assess yourself, because you would have gone to pay the earlier one. But trying to verify, and how do you pay? You can pay in two methods. Yeah. One, you can decide on that line, on the website, try to generate what we call payment invoice. And then you can take that one to any commercial bank in Kaduna State and make your payment. Okay. Once you make that payment, it's online there too. It's self-generated. Or you decide to click on pay now. When you click on pay now, that means you want to use your card to pay. Once you just type whatever is required on that card and the amount, then you pay. That one can also be verified on the on the DEX, what's it called, the dashboard of the taxpayer,
Okay.
the amount you have paid. And
All right.
once you have done that, you have completely self-assessed yourself. Now, you can also ask for tax clearance certificate on that window.
Okay.
What you do is that after you have completed this process, you just go to menu again on that website, menu, and you click on TCC application.
Okay.
Once you click on TCC application, it will process your application for you, and then an electronic TCC is generated. Recall that the law says it will take a minimum of 2 weeks for that to occur. And then if it's going to be delayed, the tax authority owe the taxpayer the explanation why he's not able to get it within 2 weeks. Maybe they have some problems with his assessment. You know, I said over this process of assessment, it requires some approvals.
Okay.
So for you to have a revised assessment, you must have paid something.
Okay.
So if you paid something and you want to now generate a closure, a tax clearance certificate, or you want to end your assessment, then the tax authority will require you to go and pay additional amount. That is what we call revised assessment. Then you make up that payment, then you are done with your assessment. That is for income assessment for those who are self-employed, doing business like enterprise, and so on and so forth. So
all right.
That's just
Let's leave that for that. As we delve into other aspects of the program today, I believe that the listeners and viewers are requested to have a closure to self-assessment. They better understand it. But however, if you still need to understand it better, after the program, you can go to the website of Procyon Radio and Television, and you can still watch the program again and listen to this explanation that's made. Okay, here's the breakdown is there. Meanwhile, the website that he was trying to tell us earlier is mytax.kdsg.gov.ng. It will also be written on the screen of the program. So after this program now, you can go to www.procyonnews.com and watch the program, or you go to the YouTube page of Procyon Radio and Television, which is Procyon RTV. Procyon is spelled PROCYON-RTV. Having sorted that, let's come and look at some other aspects of the program, because it wouldn't seem as if both Goje and Yawan are just what's that street slang now? Sidekicks. They are not sidekicks.
No, in this case, we are. Where the Obafunso is here, sidekicks.
All right. The role of civil society organization in promoting tax education in Kaduna. First, I'd like to know what's actually the importance of tax education. Let me come to Yusuf Goje.
Well, its importance is that it is a duty mandated on every citizen by the Constitution. So it's actually a constitutional issue. And in terms of importance, those who framed the 1999 Constitution understood then the critical role that payment of tax would make, and the need for every eligible citizen to pay his tax. And that is why I believe they framed it in section 24 of the 1999 Constitution, particularly F, the last part,
section 24,
which talks of the citizen declaring his income honestly and to an appropriate and lawful agency, as well as pay his tax promptly. So that is one of the critical things we need to know. So it's not like it's an option, or it's when you feel like or you don't feel like. Then secondly, when you talk about section also 14(2)(b), which particularly talks about the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. It also means that for government to be in a position to fulfill its primary purpose of securing us of delivering on our welfare needs, then citizens must be the ones to contribute to that process of providing the needed revenue that will ensure government is able to do that. And the last time I gave an instance that when you go to the market, you must be able to pay before you get any goods or services. And that is the role of citizens as the demand side of government. So when you want government to do anything, it would not always come free. There are duties that are expected that as a citizen, when you make your legitimate income and you declare it, a part of it should go back to government so that they'll be able to provide you the enabling environment to be able to live a life of dignity. So generally, that is that. But if you begin to break it down further, you now understand that if you look at the annual budget, for example, you would see that the tax revenue is one of the areas that contribute a lot to government revenue. So it means that if tax revenue performs, whether money comes from Abuja or not, government will be in a position to service our debt. The last time we checked, 2022, every resident of Kaduna owes about 32,900 naira based on the current debt profile of the state. And government will need money to service that debt and then further think of repaying it. Then also, if you look at it, when you look at liabilities of the state, it's almost about 23 billion naira. Government needs money to service this. And these liabilities include contracts that have been carried out and have not been paid. It includes pensions and gratuities of people. Then aside that, you have the main other recurrent expenditures like personnel costs, like overheads that enable governments to run day by day in terms of operations and other bureaucracy. They're much more important, the capital expenditure, which directly affects our welfare as citizens. That is the roads, the schools, and all of this. So government would not pluck money from the sky or from trees. They would definitely need some revenue to be able to do that. And the most sustainable form of revenue is tax. And one of the things that you look at, for example, Kaduna State again, when I was looking at the budget, we would say that Kaduna State also is performing when it comes to tax revenue based on what government published in their documents. Because in the 2022 budget performance report, they showed that tax revenue performed about 130%.
Over and above
what was targeted. And that is about 33 billion, which is almost 55% of the total independent revenue of the state, which was about 59 billion. But the most important thing we need to understand in that direction is that when you look at the budget, the most worrisome part is that it's payee and tax audit arrears that continue to contribute the highest level of tax revenue. So when you look at 2023 budget, if I use that as a reference again, you will see that something like direct tax assessment is set to contribute just about 700 million naira. And the total revenue target for the state is supposed to be about 38 billion naira. So imagine just 700 million
out of 30 something.
So it's almost negligible. Then if you look at capital gain tax, it's contributing just about 20 million. So but when you come to payee local government, it's about 1.3 billion. You look at payee state, it's about 3 billion. Payee federal is about 8 billion. Payee, what they term payee others, is also about 8 billion. Then tax arrears audit is providing about 10 billion. Then even restaurant and entertainment is providing about 137 million. Then you now look at others like withholding tax, on contract about 1.5 and other. So once you do this thing, it's worrisome that you find out that things like direct tax assessment is still that low, and it means that if citizens do enough, we can actually raise that bar in terms of those categories of tax, and there will be a lot of money for government to be able to carry out their mandate, their primary purpose, and all of that. So that is the importance of tax. Without this tax, government would not be able to perform. If you look at Asylum, almost the whole of last year, NNPC did not contribute to our statutory allocation because of they said that subsidy is consuming almost all subsidy is consuming almost all the profits made out of the sale of crude oil. So at the end of the day, they have to now use the profit to subsidize fuel for us at the end of the day. So it means also that by the time that continues, but we hope it will stop since government is saying they will remove the subsidy, then you don't know how the Ukraine, Russian war and other factors, external factors, can hit our federal allocation. Then it means that if we are not in a position to really depend on our tax revenue, then government will not be able to pay salaries, government will not be able to function because they will not get overheads to function, not to talk about doing roads, not to talk about schools, hospitals, and other services. So generally, that is why it is very, very important that we understand that, one, it is a constitutional mandate. Two, it is the main contributor to the lifeblood of the state's government and also the economy of the state, because the more government spends on it, they spend in terms of budget, the more monies are injected into the local community, where people will get contracts, where contractors will go out and buy building materials and other materials from the market and all of that. So I would just like to say that these are some of the critical issues that make citizens' payment of tax very important, and civil society the center of creating that awareness.
Still in line with the citizens and taxes that they pay, I'll come to Yawan Benjamin Gauje now. With the level of education that the citizens are getting, most especially via the civil society organizations, do you think that the citizens are properly educated or aware enough to be able to face these responsibilities? And the civil society organization, have they been able to create that platform for the citizens to see what extent and what level the government is utilizing their taxes to meet their needs?
Good evening, everyone. I think from where I'm standing, maybe, I don't know, because maybe I'm a member of the Tax Justice Network in Kaduna State, but I think that in terms of awareness, both the civil society and also government have tried in making this awareness. I know that we have had tax summits in different 3 geopolitical zones of Kaduna State as of last year, both in the northern zone, the central, and also the other zone, the southern part of Kaduna. And within these forums, people are invited, stakeholders, like people who are contributors to the tax of Kaduna State, are brought there, and issues are discussed based on what is making you not to pay your taxes, what are the issues you are having with government, is it double taxation, is it, are you being overtaxed, are you being forced to pay tax? You know, the essence of taxation is supposed to be voluntary. It's not something that you are supposed to be coerced. But for government to coerce you, it means that you have also not been able to live up to your own responsibility as a citizen. And that is when the government will now go further to see that, okay, because you have given me the mandate to rule, then you must also arm me with the resources to rule. And that is why at the end of the day, government will be left with no choice for citizens to make this payment. So tax summit has been going on, and it has been a form of enlightenment.
Okay.
Also, with this platform also is another means of sensitization. I know that CADIRS, Kaduna State Board of Internal Revenue Service, have also done some programs in Hausa to target people who are not English, who don't speak English as such. to be able to localize it in Hausa language. But I don't know whether they have done in other languages, maybe Yoruba and Igbo. But I know that in Hausa, they have a program where they do to educate people on taxes. But if you look at it, so the citizens also, I feel for them not to properly be able to respond to these programs, there must be an issue between the citizens and the government. And that is why we have the Tax Justice Network, which is coming in to be like a bridge, you understand, to be able to say, okay, you sit here and you sit here. What are the issues you have on ground? What is government having issues? And let's dialogue. Because government is participatory. For you to have any significant impact in government, it has to be participatory. It's only the military regime that you can just wake up and just decree, and then you let out the soldiers and they start beating people. Whether you like it or not, you are forced. But if you have a participatory government, it means that you will come and tell government, okay, just like the issue of this Castelia, when they collect their, when they stop people. You know that it was one of the tax summits where people, stakeholders also came and said, oh, this issue of stopping parents when they are taking children to school is also affecting these children from going to school. And then the government now looked at it and said, okay, if that is the case, okay, we are going to withdraw the services of these people. So it means that civil society have done at least a significant impact, have a similar impact in sensitization and also in creating awareness. So I think, but for it to have, to work perfectly, there must be a handshake. Government and citizens must meet each other at a crossroad. That it is only at that time that we are going to have meaningful development when we give our resources. So far, it is only the formal sector, which is those who are being taxed at source, that you can find that they are being paying their tax accurately. When you go to the informal sector, you find out that you don't find those issues, and that is because there is no adequate information, even to the government, for them to be able to say this and this. Just like in the European countries, you find out that, let me use football as an example. You find out that almost every year, you hear that this person is taken to court because of tax evasion. But if you come down to here, you find out that those cases are silent. People don't even see evasion of tax as a crime. You understand? They just see it as if, okay, there's nothing. And government also needs to also step in. Step in the sense that maybe if you have a platform to televise issues like this, put it on newspapers, when people they are defaulting in their taxes, it should be made public so that it will also create more awareness and sensitization to people that, okay, this tax that I'm also avoiding, I'm not paying, it is also a criminal activity.
You have heard it, when you don't pay your tax or your taxes, you are committing a crime. Now, for the benefit of those that are just joining us and those that would also want to hear one or two things, looking at the Kaduna State Tax Codification and Consolidation Law of 2020, and looking at the schedule, section 5, first schedule, and the part 1, that's taxes, levies, fees, charges, and rates administered and collected by the service order. Personal income tax, and we have the direct assessment, the one that you just explained to us. They pay, that's pay as you earn. That's also one that you pay in respect of deductions from emolument paid to employees. Then we have the withholding tax, individual now only, and the withholding tax on rent. That one is also new to me. Let me just read through this. Payable by organizations paying rent to individuals at the rate specified in section 69, subsection 2 of the Personal Income Tax Act 1993. There's also the withholding tax on interest. So when you make an interest payable by organization paying interest to individuals at rate specified in section 70, subsection 2 of the Personal Income Tax of 1993. Also, we have the withholding tax on royalties. Payable by organizations pay royalties to individuals at the rate specified in section 2. I want to believe that royalties now include maybe on your music, on your artwork, and product and stuff. Then we have withholding tax on dividend. So when I get my dividend at the end of the year, there's a withholding tax that is payable by companies paying dividends to individuals at the rate specified in Section 71 of Section 2 of the Personal Income Tax. We have the withholding tax on direct fees, like when you collect a fee from
directors' fees.
Okay, directors' fees. Sorry, withholding tax on directors' fees payable by payers of directors' fees at the rate specified in Section 42 subsection 2, and we have withholding tax on payment in relation to selected activities, services, and commission payable on certain payments under the personal income tax. Okay, capital gain tax. You explained that the last edition. We have stamp duty tax on instruments executed by individuals and all of that. If you want to know more about this, I think you need to get a tax expert, or you can get the Kaduna State Tax Codification and Consolidation Law. You are listening to Ground Zero, and we are still on our tax education series as presented by Tax Justice Network, hosted by the H4CC, that's Hope for Communities and Children Initiative. And of course, the program is supported by Christian Aid. At this point in time, I would like to open up the phone lines. The number to dial to be part of the program is 0809 799 1989. That's 0809 799 1989. The number will also be displayed on the screen for those that are watching. You can call in now, ask your questions, go straight to the point. Whatever questions or issues you have in respect of tax, payment of tax, type of taxes, and how you go about it, we have a tax expert in the studio, and of course, members from the civil society organization here in the studio, so that together, let's see how we can help ourselves to work for ourselves, because we are in a democracy, and of course, we know that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So, taxes are monies collected by us, for us, and with us. Still coming back to the studio, I'd like to come back to our tax expert. Now, I can see something called presumptive tax, land use charge, and the private school hotels, hotel occupancy and restaurant consumption tax, and road taxes. All of these are forms of taxes.
Yes, there are types of taxes that are not specifically.
We have a call coming in now. Let's start to take. Hello, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to the program. Good evening, you are welcome to the program.
I want to know, I'm not, this one is not working like me now. I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. I want to ask, how will I now, is it possible for me to pay tax?
Whether it's possible for you to pay tax. What's the name again?
Huh?
What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Mrs. Ehis.
Okay. Whether it's possible for her, she's not working or doing anything. I'll throw that question to Mr. Obafunso. Quickly respond to her.
Yes, it's possible for her to pay tax because income are divided into two. We have what we call earned income. Earned income. That is an income that is derived from the taxpayer's effort to earn, to obtain. Then the unearned income. Now she is not working. That means she's not earning income. Then that is not there. But there are unearned income. How does she live? If she is not earning income, she must be gifted somehow. Gift is taxable. It's a form of unearned income. Okay. She can be living on investment.
Okay.
These investments are also taxable incomes. Like you read out, you are talking about interest, dividend, this and that. They are all taxable income. So the way you live is the way you are brought to tax. Okay. So it's not necessarily that you are doing your own self-employed work or you are in an organization employment that pays you salary. As long as you are living, there is something that makes you to live. That is your livelihood. Even if you are a beggar, that begging alms is an income to you. As long as we can aggregate it, and it's more than 360,000 naira per annum, you are in the tax net already. So
all right. Madam, hope you got that. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Ehis. Good evening to your guys over there, and thank you so much for this your program that you are giving us. The enlightenment is so marvelous. You see, the name remains Ibrahim, coming from Kabaladoki.
All right, Ibrahim.
I really want to, yes, Ibrahim coming from Kabaladoki. What thing I want to get to really analyze or break it down for us in this small level, and for the understanding for some of us that are from the local, especially those that come based in the villages. You see, taxes is always paid by those that are in the, how would I call it, the real sector of the economy, like the civil servants. These are those people that are paying the real taxes. But the farmers also, I believe, in one way that government is deducting their own, they are paying their own. Is it that indirectly? And if that will be the case, what about those that have a small scale business in the city or in the villages? How are they also paying? So that we really want to open up our IT channel, like the way the Exact Excellency Empire has done in Kaduna State. If other states can be able to emulate, I believe all those looking towards the federal government to bring education to them, that will be a bit of the bad. The federal government education will be an added advantage for them to have the wage for development in the rural area as well. So my own now is this: can you please break it down for us so that everybody will understand? And again, they use the media as well to pass the message to the local languages so that every language, everybody will understand. From their own language so that we understand, sir. Everybody will not be liable or ready to pay taxes. Because many people are not paying taxes. It will be like this now. But if they are paying the right, I believe that this development will reach down to everyone. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much, Ibrahim.
So thank you very much, Ibrahim, for that chip in. I love that. And I want to agree with you that many people in the informal sectors are not paying taxes. And that is why the reform of Kaduna State has been, they have included what we call presumptive taxes.
Yeah.
Presumptive taxes are paid by those people in the informal sectors. When we say informal sectors, those who are not registered with the CAC, or you don't have your business registered with the MBIT, that is Ministry of Business, Innovation, Technology of Kaduna State. So you are not registered, you are not formal in any form. We are talking about hairdressers, carpenters, all those word mechanics, mekose, meat sellers, all of them are earning income in one way or another, but tax law does not know them. Now, they have now classified them into what we call medium, small, and large scale businesses. And for each micro businesses, they have now attributed what you should pay per year and how you should pay it. That everybody should have a card on a weekly basis, like an Adashi card.
Okay.
Record your sales, record what you are selling on every day, and every 5 days or every month you can total it and transfer it, or every week, so that we know how much you earn in a month. And if you have an expenses, you can record it in a card like that too, and let's sum it up and then take it. So by the time they do the net of the arithmetic, they will not know whether you are making profit or not, because you can only pay taxes on your profit. Government wants every organization to grow. If you are paying taxes on your income and you make a loss as a result of your business operation, then you are entitled to a loss relief. They will not kill you, but you have declared your income honestly, which led to an operational loss. Then you require government to support you, to make you transmute into a profit-making organization, so that next year when you make such losses, you can now, profit, a new profit. The loss you made this year can be, net off from the profit of next year, and it's carried up forward indefinitely until it is zero. You understand? So they want, the survival of business is paramount to government. It's not that they don't want to kill any business. If you make loss, fine. Is it a good loss? If it's a trade loss, if it is established that it's a trade loss, then it is allowable loss. You can now...
Let me give them the phone number again, because 0809 799 1989. That's the number to dial to be part of the program. 0809 799 1989. You have questions in respect of taxes, the ones you are paying, the ones you want to pay, how to pay it, how to calculate your taxes, and all of that. This program is open for you to call in now and let us have a feel of what you are thinking and what you want to say. And you can also go to our social media handles and also do justice to just that by the handles where you can get us is Procyon RTV. Procyon is spelled PROCYON-RTV. That's PROCYON-RTV. You can get us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, and Twitter, not forgetting on Facebook. Do remember to follow and like us when you get there. Coming back to Obafunso.
So you see, in the tax law, there is a schedule breakdown there that itemizes all manner of artisanship in Kaduna State or anywhere in that you can talk about that Nigerians normally will venture into. You will find what you do there.
Okay.
And therefore, you know the rate that is applicable to your own business. It may be as little as 500 naira and as high as maybe 5,000 naira in a year. That's what they say people should pay. But ability to bring these people to the tax net is the problem.
Yeah.
But you see, well, somebody just said that they are not criminalizing or prosecuting people. It is, you compare it to the developed world. When you hear it on the news, it's celebrated names you hear. If, for instance, a big notable person, politician, or is in tax net in Nigeria, is in tax trouble in Nigeria, you will hear it on all media. But somebody is unknown. Like they said, if the noble commit a criminal offense, everywhere we hear it.
Yeah.
But if a commoner commits that same offense, it's like it's
common. It's common.
It's common. So that is it. It's not as if people are not being prosecuted.
Okay.
A lot of people are in jail for tax offenses.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people have been penalized. You see, it is not for you to go to what? To the court, except you have willfully, negligently, or fraudulently refused to pay tax, e.g., not registering for tax, and you are caught, then that means you have committed a crime, a criminal offense. That can lead you to jail. But, and again, if you falsify your record, such that you are paying little tax.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, you are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Omoba from Bakifina.
Omoba. All right. Omoba, let's get your take.
I've been listening to the case last week.
Yes, sir.
What I'm about asking is that there are some private schools in Kaduna here that collect tax from their staffs. They don't give them receipts. They don't even give them payslips to show the tax. And these are very big private schools.
Okay. So what's the question?
But I want them to check those schools. They are not paying tax. Tax is very important for development. In Europe, you cannot escape tax paying, and it should be so here.
Hello, Amoba?
We've had him.
Hello? Now, how do you know that these schools are not paying? You don't have to mention the name, but give me an idea of how you got to know that they are not paying these taxes or remitting taxes deducted.
I have people there. I don't to be anonymous. I have people there because I've undergone such thing and I told the result what came out.
Okay.
But please check those schools check them, let them bring their books. Check them. Don't do what I've told you, those schools. Please check them and even ask the staff, let them show you a tax receipt from that school. All those, the bigger ones, even not these mushroom private schools.
Okay, just a random check. Okay, Omoba is off. Well, we've had, like what he just said, we know that it happens. Now, it is important for not just experts like you, but the civil society organizations to also do much more, because these schools should be within the tax net. We wouldn't want the state government or the agency going after them. But for those that are collecting taxes from their teachers, are not remitting it to the government, and the teachers don't have access to any form of tax clearance, it's a big crime. It is a big crime. And this is to let them know that if they are caught, if report gets to the authorities, they can be prosecuted. And like you heard, the proprietors or proprietresses can go to prison for that purpose. Let's dwell on that a little bit.
Well, like he said that he has people there. You can act as an unknown whistleblower.
Okay. Who is he going to complain to now? The IRS?
You can complain to IRS.
Okay.
We have area offices around
Kaduna also has a whistleblower law.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yes, so Kaduna has a whistleblower law. There's the anti-corruption unit in the Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
Yes, so you can always reach out to them on how you can do that. Or probably I'll also drop their details with you so that maybe you can put it on your website.
Yes,
so
yes,
that people
yes,
can,
yes,
your
yes.
social media handles, so that people can always go there and check. But it's important that when things like this come up, you should just try and ensure that you reach out. I'm just looking at, okay, so we have, they are on Twitter, is at CAT, SACU. CAT, SACU. Then on Facebook, Kaduna State Anti-Corruption Unit.
Okay.
Then they have a phone number.
Maybe all of those.
Yes, you can.
I will get those details and I'll put it on the website of ProcyonNews.com and also the handles of Procyon Radio and TV. Thank you so very much. We have 2 minutes to wrap it all up, so we'll take our parting shot. I'd like to start from Yawan Benjamin Gauje. Your parting shot on the program today.
Well, my parting shot for today is that people should see tax as a responsibility, and they should learn to pay it voluntarily as at when due, so that government can have the requirement to be able to increase development in our states.
Rahmon Obafunso.
I want to also stress on what Yawan has just said, that there is no good things without going through pains. So the pain, that is the burden, is the payment of tax for every good things that we anticipate in the country. Not paying your tax diminishes those good things that you expect. So I advise that everyone should be dutiful and pay their tax promptly and correctly to the appropriate tax authority as initiated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And to Yusuf Goje.
Well, mine is just a call to civil society and media partners to see that we are able to carry this message down to people at the grassroots using different approaches and formats. Like we talk about theater for development and other formats that we can get people to be more aware, because the major thing also there is lack of awareness around these issues. And secondly, advocate also that we need to accelerate this process of financial inclusion, because once everybody is financially included, everybody has a bank account, then it means it is easier for also government to trace and track people's income and be able to generate from there, because some of this process sometimes might be too cumbersome. But once government can go to your account and they know all of that, they send you the documents. If it's the assessment is okay, they do the deductions, rather than the process of coming to look at how to pay and all of those processes. So that's my own advocacy. Tax is a collective responsibility, and we should always ensure that we pay it.
All right, thank you so very much. And with that, we come to this 4th series in our tax education series. And I sincerely want to appreciate the Tax Justice Network and, of course, the Hope for Communities and Children Initiative for bringing this package for us, and most importantly, to Christian Aid for supporting this program that you listen to. I also want to appreciate the production team starting from Nifemi Onibiyo, or Seise Agbon, Grace Adebayo, Michael Boniface, and not forgetting Grace Daniel, and of course Mercy Ofuya, that linked us up to Invicta FM. And the management and staff of Invicta FM, we thank you, not forgetting our production manager, Sarah Agbon. Funcho, Obafunso, Rahmon, Yawan, Benjamin Gauje, and Yusuf Goje. Thank you so very much. It's been a wonderful package. I'm not also forgetting Olatunde Simeon too for pulling the plugs and hooking up all of these. My name is Ehis Agbon. On Tuesday, we'll be on for another package of the program, Ground Zero. Between now and then, like always, plant a tree today, water it and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all. Catch you on the other side. But remember, watch us on all social media, and you can get details, more details, phone numbers to call, and where to go to if you have a whistle that you want to blow.